Hey there, welcome back to Tennille Talks. I do want to make a note that this reading is going to be posted on Thursday, June 20th, 24th, and I just want to say that this is the day that we celebrate the summer solstice. This kind of always occurs at the start of Cancer season, and essentially it reminds us to kind of go inward and to find the nourishment that we need in order to grow and evolve, right? At times it can even symbolize the triumph of light over dark. And that's significant because this is the longest day of the year, which means this is the shortest night. So there's the triumph, right? Now, it's only the longest day of the year for those that live in the northern hemisphere, right? And it is supposed to officially, the sun hits its highest point at 4:50, 4:51. Some sources I found, but nonetheless, 4:50 p.m. Eastern time is when it is official, right? And so since this has been celebrated since 1796, this is the earliest that this day has arrived on the calendar. So I thought that was another cool thing. So yes, spiritual energy, solar energy, right? And so we're talking about an abundance of sunlight, and that can be a metaphor for an abundance of enlightenment, an abundance of spiritual awareness, right? So keep in mind about the energy, that energy when you hear this reading. Whenever you hear this reading, that energy is significant to the reading that I'm about to share, okay? So let's talk about the reading. I have kind of titled this reading, Let's Talk Frogs. I think that many of us have heard, that sometimes you have to kiss a few frogs before you find your prince. And that's true whether you're finding your prince or princess. But nonetheless, this is about an experience where it looks like someone has transitioned from a relationship that was emotionally draining, and the relationship and the connection that is coming next is actually with a divine counterpart, right? And so overall, there is a new opportunity. I saw this as almost like you being giving, you're getting fire. You're getting energy, you're getting a boost, you're getting a spark. Think of a video game. And you know how sometimes whatever the main character is, they have different opportunities as they are running through the game to complete missions where like coins will appear or stars will appear, right? Or some type of gem that they have to run through in order to collect a boost, a power, or something that gives them an advantage. So wherever you are in your life, let's imagine your life is your video game. You have opportunities right now where as you're moving forward in your days, your months, your weeks, you can collect boosts of power. Energy is being made available to you, right? So this is light, this is creative energy, but this is what will give you focus, right? This is what will give you drive and passion. Something inside of you is going to be ignited. And so this energy is supposed to free you from boredom. So we just talked about the abundance of light that the summer solstice represents, but then this energy is able for you have access. You can collect it for yourself to use consistently, right? You use this to help you clear out karma, bad energy, negative energy, right? The energy that you've been stuck and stagnant. Now you can kind of power through it and just finally move it out of the way so that you can keep going without feeling stuck or stagnated, right? Now, when you get this boost of energy, it does require that you take action. And when you take action, you should have some sense of motivation. Like you should be wanting to do this. It shouldn't feel like you are forcing yourself. There should be no resistance. This should be kind of like just a natural process, something that you fall into. And I'm saying that because I think it's important because you have to have the right mindset so that you truly see this as an opportunity, something that you can take advantage of, something that will ultimately be beneficial to you, right? And so you have access to channel energy, and you must channel it creatively, meaning however it is filtered through you and however you decide to output it into the world is correct, because you have honored what was true to you, right? We're not going to all use this energy in the same way. Now, this is coming to you after a period where it looks like you've had to have been very patient. So you could have been sitting in solitude. You could have been sitting in silence for months or weeks or years where you knew you just weren't supposed to go forward. You had to wait, right? Because things were not ready for you. And what you thought was stable, it really wasn't as you seem. So you could have gone through periods of towers where things were falling apart, where all illusions that were once hidden, now they started to become clear, right? So sometimes we have to sit because the truth is not yet known. We are almost waiting for the truth to emerge, right? And so when you are sitting, when you are patient, the idea is to sit still so that you can watch your life, right? You want to pay attention to everything while your future is still loading, so to speak, right? Because as you pay attention, you are collecting all the pieces that you need as soon as the light turns green and you can go again. And so the light has turned green. Yes, you can go. And as you go, you are going to be picking up pieces of energy that will propel you forward at a pace that you didn't have access to. You may not have been moving forward at all. You've just been dormant in your own life. Now, something significant about this is during your season of being patient, right? During the season, right before you get to this new opportunity, this new energy, you may have crossed paths with someone, or this is your energy, right? But I am reading this, which is why I said, let's talk about frogs. And sometimes you have to kiss a few frogs before you get to the real thing, is because you may have crossed paths with somebody who is coming up in this reading as a King of Cups reverse. So specifically, they can be a water sign. So that's Scorpio, that's Pisces. Help me. Scorpio, Pisces. Cancer. We're about to start Cancer season. So this could have been a Cancer, a Scorpio, or a Pisces. Or this just describes the temperament of this person. But remember, this person is in reverse, right? So this is somebody that I will say may have been a frog. This could have been the last frog that you cross paths with during your season of stillness, of quietness, of isolation. And one of the reasons why you were not able to move is because there was something about this connection that maybe you had not been able to see yet. So now let's describe the characteristics. Emotions, right? This is a water sign. And so sometimes people are emotionally intelligent. Now, this specific character that comes up in the reverse, this is somebody that is going to be always the victim in every story that they tell about their life, their relationships, their careers. Everything is always happening to them and not for them. So this is a drama queen, a drama king, right? They have endless sob stories, many that you are going to be able to hear on a loop or repeat. It's almost like they are trapped in some type of cycle or scenario that they just can't escape. And so every time that you're in their energy, you are really listening to the same story again and again. They are not in touch with their emotions. I think I mentioned this in a reading before, but like, you can get divorced, you can break up, you can separate, you can leave a job, you can leave something physically. But that doesn't mean that your mind has left the relationship and that you've been logically able to process what you've been through. You can leave a relationship or a career, but if you've invested 10 years into it, just because you physically move away, your heart and your emotions can still be active in that relationship or that career or whatever that experience was that plagued you somehow, right? And so a physical move doesn't mean a mental or emotional move. And so I see this as somebody who is stuck in a period of their life. They're stuck in an experience or a phase. And whatever the situation was in the end for them, it wounded them so deeply that they are not able to get out of it, even if they have gotten out of it, right? And so being unable to regulate your emotional states, right? Sometimes you'll have a memory and it'll take you right back to that day and that time, and all of a sudden you feel like you're living it again, right? So sometimes this can be some sort of PTSD, like, feeling like it is real, it is happening right now, and you're unable to escape it, right? So sometimes you lose touch with yourself, you lose touch with others, you don't have the ability to be empathetic, right? Because you're literally, you're there, but you're not there. there. And so being triggered, somebody that's very temperamental, these are the characteristics of this person that you had to be patient with because you were not supposed to go forward with whoever this person would have been. They could have been withdrawn. They could have been moody. And so they didn't match emotionally what you were able to give out. So if you were to continue in this connection, you would have been forever emotionally unfulfilled, right? This is a person that is intolerant. They would never have been able to return any type of compassion to you, right? So you could be in the same room, but really this person they're not there, right? They're not there to ever offer or return what it is that you can give to them. Now, this person may have disturbed your peace, right? Listen, if they don't have peace, they can't give you peace, right? And so if they are disturbed, well, they can give you what they have. They can disturb you. So think about this experience, and if this seems to describe a possible frog that you were asked to kind of sit still with. Maybe you thought it was an opportunity. Maybe you thought that this was a moment to progress forward. But listen, you were asked to wait a minute. Something is not as it seems here. Now, what was supporting you in this situation? So you could be a feminine or somebody in feminine energy, but I feel like you could have crossed paths with somebody that was emotionally manipulative and unavailable in some way. Maybe you thought you were supposed to progress forward. You learned that you were supposed to just sit still and wait, right? For things to be seen and shown and known. What was supporting you is the energy of the divine masculine. Now, whether this is the masculine energy in you that had to come alive in order to address this situation, logically, right? This was not a situation where you were supposed to truly use emotion or create some type of attachment, because you would not have gotten that back. And so this could have been a situation where you had to be very clear-minded, right? You had to step into the role as the protector of self. You had to become your own guardian. And it's like, what type of action am I supposed to take? So now this could be the energy that you had to step in, or because you were so close to the prince, the energy of your divine masculine could have been supporting you, because it's almost like you're getting a call vibrationally. You're being pulled towards your divine counterpart, right? And so if you were sitting in a connection with somebody that does not match your frequency, there's going to be some type of disturbance there. And it's because your future is already summoning you, right? And so are you going to recognize and feel that you are being pulled elsewhere? Or are you going to persist that this connection is the one for you? That this is the frog. That this frog, when I kiss it, it turns into a prince, right? Sometimes we are stuck in situations like that. Or we have placed ourselves to be stuck because we so bad want the frog that we have kissed again and again and again to finally become the prince, to finally become the princess, right? But guess what? If their bucket is empty, they will never be able to fulfill yours. They have nothing, right? They are literally stuck and trapped in a different part of their life or experience that could have involved you. But honestly, it could be with somebody from their past. It could be with their childhood. It could be with their family, a failure in a career. And so you can sit and you can kiss these type of people all day long. But they will not turn into the royalty that matches your level of royalty. And so I feel like something was pulling you outside of this connection, at the same time that you were still being asked to sit in it until something was shown to you. That's weird, right? So you're being pulled elsewhere energetically, but you're also being told to sit still. Although you're being pulled, don't move, because you don't know who's pulling you or what. You don't know where this pull is coming from. You could think that it was this person that was pulling you at the same time, which is why you had to wait, because guess what? They're going to heal. They're going to change, right? A shift is going to happen. So sitting and waiting and not acting is because you needed to know a truth that was hidden. Now, this could be your divine masculine pulling you in. This could be the energy of the divine masculine within you that needs to arise, right? And kind of step into the space of being able to logically balance your own energy because of the situation that you're in, right? And listen, these are connected to the relationships that we have with our fathers, our brothers, and the prominent males, the prominent masculine energies in our life. Those are the situations that decide how we turn up when we have to display a certain type of energy, right? And so Your ability to heal the relationships with masculines in your life determines your ability to move in this energy, and then also to attract this energy that is lying within another's vessel, right? So there are many different ways that we prepare for the divine masculine: by harnessing our own energy and healing, but then also by repairing, connecting, or severing the relationships with prominent masculine energies in our own life. All of it is a part of the same story. It's a part of the same painting or the same energy. It's just a different color, right? But we're always strengthening certain aspects at different times in our life. This is the energy of the divine masculine that is showing up. So however it plays out for you, that's okay. But I'm just saying it could happen. You could be working on this energy at the same time, but in different ways, in different realms and levels of reality. This could be happening. Now, because this is a divine masculine moment in your life, whether it's happening with a person or in you, right? Or you're repairing past connections, this is an indication that something is coming to you, something is flowing to you. New opportunities are emerging because of what you were building in your energy, because what you were about to, divine masculines are leaders, right? They are way showers. They blaze trail. You are about to take over your life, and you are either going to have a counterpart to help you do it, or you are just going to have access to your own energy. Now, this energy is directly connected to the crown chakra, because there could have been a period of time, right, where you felt disconnected. You didn't really have a sense of your own purpose, or you lacked purpose, right? And you could have been filled with anger. So there is a fire that lives inside the masculine energy that needs to find a way out. But you use that fire to shape and to mold and to build. Now, if you are distorted in some kind of way, that fire will destroy. It won't build. It will just be destructive. It will be chaotic. You won't know what to do with it, right? And so instead of going out and leading, you tend to be socially isolated because you don't know where you fit in. You feel ungrounded. Your feet are never planted. You're never rooted. You're never feeling safe and secure. Now, those are all aspects of us not being tapped in to who we are in our own masculine form, right? And so our crown chakra is not understanding the role that we are supposed to play based on the energy that we are supposed to carry. So now there is a shift happening. And I want to say that competition, conflict, and obstacles caused by others is what kind of mucks up our ability to understand the energy that we carry. And if you can't possess this energy, you can't attract this energy. So there could be males in your life that were causing significant conflict for you at different periods, whether you dated them, whether you were related to them, or you had to associate with them, via a career of some sort. But something about the energy of a masculine needed to be repaired within you so that you could begin to experience a level of enlightenment and awareness. There was something that you needed to know, something that you needed to see. You didn't really have access to your own beauty. Maybe you didn't feel motivated, you didn't feel inspired because you didn't know where you were going or what you were supposed to do. And you weren't supposed to because there was a situation or there were experiences that you had to almost make peace with. And it required logic. It required consciousness and awareness. These were not situations that you were supposed to have some type of emotional connection or response to. So sometimes you got to tuck your heart away, right? Now, because you did this, or because you've gone through this and you were almost obedient to what you were being asked to energetically do, you're in this state where happiness is coming, but you may not know yet based on what you've just been through, right? And so your crown chakra was shut off as a result of all the challenges and conflicts that you've been through. Those were different for all of us, right? And so you essentially had to fight, right? You had to become, I think about male lions, and essentially to become the leader, the two male lions are going to have to fight. And this is you fighting in many different ways, masculine energies that you have crossed paths with that possibly have wounded you. Like you had to learn how to step up and kind of be the emperor, how to rule your own kingdom without feeling intimidated or weakened or fearful that somebody else was bigger and more powerful than you in your own life. Nobody outside of you can possess or choose the way your life unfolds. And so this is you recognizing that, right? Now, once you recognize that, all of a sudden you begin to attract relationships where people are running their own vessels. You don't have to worry about mothers and sisters or aunts or friends dictating the choices that your partner is going to make, because they know how to protect their space. They know how to protect their home, their family, and their relationship from outside influences. Okay? Now, you are being guided as a result of really mastering this type of energy, right? You are being guided towards a soulmate. Now, the challenge is that sometimes you can cross paths with your real divine masculine, your real twin flame counterpart. But if they are in reverse and they lack emotional intelligence, just because they're sitting in front of you, it doesn't mean that they are matching you. And so some of those relationships are challenging because we can feel the pull, we can feel the connection. And that is actually an opportunity for you to use the extra energy to burn away the karma, sever the connection, be honest about whether or not it will truly fulfill you. If somebody is stuck in a situation from 10, 20 years ago, they are not available to you, even if you can reach out and touch them. Even if they answer the phone, even if they respond to a text, it doesn't mean that they're actually there. Now, because you responded to that situation, you are being pulled right or guided right into a soulmate connection. Now, this is a soul-connected relationship. You are meant to work together on a soul level. Now, we do have the lovers come up here. And so I'm believing that this is going to be a romantic connection, even if it doesn't begin that way. But this partnership is very special. It is very special. You have to learn how to be good to each other, because I imagine that you are mirrors of one another, like all of our relationships are. And so think about what you've been through. Now imagine that this person has been through something similar. And so you are both healing, and this is a connection where you will heal independently, but because you are linked, you are going to continue to heal and grow together, right? So being good to each other, having gratitude for this connection, understanding that it is sacred, right? You are going to help each other relieve suffering, right? You both are going to help one another triumph over the hardships that you experience, right? You're going to bring joy to each other as opposed to bringing hard times. But the reality is that this situation doesn't really have a vessel. It doesn't have a box that you can put it into. You know it's something significant because you can feel it, but you're both expanding. Now, imagine someone that is pregnant, right? And so they buy a belt, right? Let's say at the beginning of their pregnancy, they buy a belt. Now, as their abdomen is growing with life, they're going to have to adjust their belt to a loop that's just a little farther away so that it can fit them, okay? Now, by the time they get to the end of the pregnancy and it's time to give birth, well, you, of course, can adjust the belt smaller, but the idea is that belt, even if you get to the loop that's farthest away, it still may not give you the room to grow into what you're expanding into. So I say that to say that this is a situation where you are growing. And so to put a label, to put a title, to try to commit to something really fast is not suggested here, right? So don't sign anything legal. Don't do anything legal yet, because you are still expanding. Life is expanding in you, individually, but also in the connection that you have with the soulmate. So whatever it's going to grow into, it's going to grow into. But the energy is saying, don't go too fast. Don't try to assume the role or the position. Don't try to figure out all the details right now, but pay attention to the energy. You are giving birth to lots of creativity, right? This is almost like getting a new magic wand, but it comes with no instruction manual. So you have to really pay attention to this energy. You really have to pay attention to where you are going to put it. All of the energy should be used creatively, because when you are creating, you are co-creating with the universe, and you are doing what you only are supposed to do, right? Now, another thing to consider is that any illusions, anything that blocked you or that gave you any type of fear, all of that is being dumped out and turned upside down, right? Now, You are being guarded to connect to this soulmate, right? This new person, possibly the prince, right? You're going to kind of go through a cleansing, a purging, right? Because happiness is awaiting you, but you got to get rid of the mucky stuff from the past or from a recent situation, right? And so the true nature of this connection, you may not have seen it for what it really was because we were still kind of seeing and sensing what we had been through, okay? And so who this partner is to you is becoming clear. Any hidden truths, any deceit about what you went through with this King of Cups in reverse, sometimes soulmates can be our adversaries. They can be our ops, right? And so before we can see our divine counterpart, we first have to see the karmic or the false or the toxic one for who they truly are. You've just got to see it. You've got to see it. You've got to see it because that it will reveal something to you about you, okay? And so you are returning to a time of self-assurance, but this is coming after times of difficulty, right? And so when we talked about being patient and sitting still, something had to be revealed to you, right? There was something that you didn't know. You could have been receiving intuitive messages about this person, but it just maybe felt unclear, right? And so sometimes we're afraid to leave people because we're like, well, what if this is our person, right? And that is fear blocking you from being able to intuitively understand who that person is. Sometimes we can't see the illusion, or we don't know how to consider what is the illusion and what is the reality. We go through these periods of being mentally confused, having anxiety, being fearful, right? When that happens, that is an indication that this is a spiritual experience, possibly a mystical experience, when you kind of just can't make sense of something, right? You are supposed to decode it with a different tool. Put away the logic, put away the emotion, pull out the intuition. Now, emotionally, this is kind of what you had to purge with this connection. So this manipulative person, this kind of victimhood mentality type of person, they were a soulmate, but they were a soulmate that had a job to do, right? And because they fulfilled their role with you, now you get to this period where you step into the energy of the divine masculine, right? That's essentially what I'm saying. And so now you are understanding that those spiritual experiences, those are a part of you strengthening your own divinity. They force you to choose love over fear. This person is giving me all these different vibes, right? And I may know that they're not good for me, but I don't know why. I can't. It's like foggy. You just can't see it. That is an indication that something spiritual is taking place. That person is in your life to strengthen you spiritually somehow, some way, right? And so you have to sit and you have to be brave enough to see the truth. You have to be brave enough to move forward even in the darkness so that you can collect all the pieces and all the information that you need in that experience. That experience is giving you something. Are you brave enough to listen to what it is supposed to give you? Or are you going to force it to be something that it will never be, right? Are you going to keep kissing that frog thinking it will become a prince? Or are you going to let this experience significantly change you so that you can get to the connection that you are most destined to be a part of, right? This is where you start to grow in whatever your superpower is as a divine being, right? These are those moments when you're in a situation and it feels like you're in unknown territory. Those are the moments where your gifts are actually growing. That is when you are growing in your divinity. It's almost like spirit is like, okay, your physical vessel doesn't have all the tools to understand what's happening here. So can you channel us spiritually because we are available to you? You are not alone. Can you channel us spiritually to get you in this situation? And you either say yes, right? Because you recognize that this is bigger, something's happening, I'm going to have to call in reinforcement, or you say no. And you sit and you try to figure it out and force it. And you know what I mean? These are those unconditional love. You love the journey even when it's complicated. You love yourself for not having all the answers. And you actually love the person that is potentially not the best, not doing the best for you, because you realize that they are playing a role that will ultimately help you, right? And so your divinity is what kind of gives you reverence. This is where you develop a deep respect for yourself and for the role that you are playing, right? It is supposed to give you understanding, mastery. This is a comprehension test, right? When you go through these connections, they are truly leveling you up. They are giving you your gifts. These are this is where you almost have to go undercover as a light being, right? Because light beings, you're like, well, why am I going through this? Like, I'm a good person, I'm divine. Some situations you have to go undercover, right? You have to move outside of your divinity, which means you might be with people or in places or doing things that really don't appear to be the most on target with what you are divinely called to do, but they are beneficial to you. It's almost like going into the darkness to see how strong your light really is. Well, how far can your flashlight really reach? Unless you turn it on at night. Well, go turn it on at night and let's see the type of light you have. Does it change colors? Does it flicker? Like, what can you do? How would you know unless you were in situations where you had to do it? So sometimes we almost have to become a chameleon. We have to blend in. This is a superpower, to be able to energetically blend in and to connect with people, places, and things that are everything but divine. These situations and connections are better. They help you grow. And this is almost like an accelerated mission, an accelerated class, right? Because it allows us to develop our psychic, yes, abilities, but it just does something to us. But sometimes it's going to hurt, right? Are you still going to be able to do good when somebody is not good for you? Are you still going to love unconditionally? Are you going to be a divine being in dark situations, right? Let's see what you do. And so these situations are necessary. And I almost believe that the veil between the physical world and the mystical world is at its thinnest in your reality when you are going through these spiritual, challenging, karmic, or toxic situations. This is where you recognize that you're a shaman. These are portals, right? Pain is a portal. It's a portal for growth and healing and understanding. This is where you get your divine tools. You're like, oh, I need to pick up this tool. I don't have that. Or I didn't have this ability, but I do now because of what I just went through, right? These are spiritual gateways that are required. They are necessary, and they help you fall in love with your mission. Maybe not immediately because of how it feels, but eventually you will come to be like, oh, I get it now, right? This is when miracles occur, when you have that aha moment, right? Because all of a sudden life looks wondrous. Now events are going to unfold. Now you're going to have access to profound revelations, right? And even your smallest action is going to have a big result because you are moving in your divinity unapologetically, right? The idea is to show up to every situation and to be the same person consistently, right? Always giving thanks for wherever life is taking you. And this is how you move in the right direction, right? And every time you consistently invest in your divine journey, no matter how it feels, you are growing roots, right? You are doing the work. If you continue to do the work, then you must know that the results are coming, right? And so it is okay to wait on a return for your investment, but be patient as you start to see the outcome of all of those freaking frogs. They served a purpose. They truly did, right? They truly served a purpose, and it is all going to make sense. It absolutely is. Now, what's happening outside of your awareness is maybe you are understanding why those frogs had to cross your path, what needed to be changed, right? This person could have been a significant soulmate that was preparing you for the divine masculine, but there was something inside of you that needed to be corrected, right? There was something significant about the relationships or the wounds or the connections that you've had with other masculines in your life that you needed to kind of respond to in whatever way, right? And so now all of this is happening for what? You are finally about to see the what, right? And so this is happening outside of your awareness. You are learning to go big or go home. You are learning not to play small. You are running your life like it is your kingdom. You are in charge. You are worthy. You are sovereign, and you have permission to be strong, right? If you grew up with masculines who were wounded, who were bullies, who were abusive, then maybe you never felt powerful in your own power because somebody always trumped you, right? They took it away from you. They didn't allow you to feel safe in your own strength. So then you were put in situations with people who are abusive and unavailable, who you have to be strong against because you can't be pushed around. You can't be pushed over. You can't be knocked down. You won't be ignored, right? This is where you develop your muscle. This is where you learn that, listen, it is okay to be the star in my own life. I don't have to hide. You start to call back your power from all the people that once took it from you or that you gave it away to, hoping that they would become a prince or a princess, right? This is why all of that was necessary. This is why we had to deal with the people who were victims. Because we had to decide that, guess what? I'm not a victim in my life, and I'm definitely not going to be a victim in the relationship with you. You're not going to victimize me. No, I know who I am. I know what I have. And guess what? Now I have to practice and demonstrate that in this connection. And so that is the experience that you are processing wherever you are in that journey. That is you are calling back your power from situations where it was stolen, whether it's romantic, with family, in a career where you had no voice, you were not allowed to be strong in any way. These situations are necessary. And guess what? When you move through them, now the prince and princesses can come because you will know how to protect that relationship. You will know how to protect whatever it is you're building. That relationship is sacred because you have something to do, right? But if you don't know that you are someone, you won't know you have something to do. And so everything is truly helping you to fall into yourself. And this is literally when the triumph of light happens over the darkness. Finally, you may be able to see this. So the summer solstice could be significant. You could have an aha moment. You could have some type of revelation, right? Or this is the moment in your life where finally you are carrying more light than you are carrying darkness. And that is a beautiful thing, right? So you are learning that being big, being powerful, being strong, being worthy, right? All of that I desire that. I deserve that, right? And so this is almost like your spirit saying, okay, you're ready, set, go. Now you are ready to go. Now you're ready to build. You're ready to create. You've been through this stage of healing chaos, right? All of that chaos was somehow necessary because it promoted you to chase after your own healing, right? Now, when we get in relationships, I almost feel like our spirit guides kind of send us an energetic weather report, right? And imagine that your spirit guides are like, okay, this weather system, aka this relationship, will last approximately 6 weeks and 17 days. You are going to go into this relationship. Now, for some, it's 10 years, right? But spiritually, these are missions. And they're like, okay, this is going to last for 4 years. And I want you to know that this is going to be a period of chaos for many different reasons. And all the chaos that you are about to experience at this job, in this connection, with this family member, in this marriage, in this relationship, all of this is beneficial to you, but you've got to serve your time, right? So trust us. We don't know that until we come out on the other side and we are stronger than ever. We are more confident than we've ever been. We are a force to be reckoned with, right? But we had to go through that weather system, right? We had to honor the journey and what it asked us to do. So now that you have done that, now that you have been through the chaos and you've used the chaos to heal, there is a connection coming in. There is a love connection coming in. And you have a choice. Are you going to open your heart deeply, right? Are you going to see this as a connection that is meaningful, right? Is this a relationship that you want? Do you want to pursue it? Are you going to expand yourself in a romantic connection. And this is romance. I know, listen, I am really feeling that this is a love situation somehow. A divine love situation that is now appropriately entering because proper work was done. And so whoever that last frog was, that was like your last test. That was your last straw in tolerating certain connections and situations with certain kinds of people, because you know your power, you know your strength, you know what you're going to handle and what you're not going to handle, right? Like that served a purpose. And now you will be able to take all of those skills and assets and abilities and put them in a divine connection where you have work to do. But guess what? If these are the tools that you have gotten on your journey, the person that you are attracting has also gotten many, many tools. So their journey has been tough, which is why you both have a choice, right? Are you going to choose to allow yourself to fall in love, right? Do you see this as a friendship? Do you see this as a soulmate? Do you understand that this connection is profound, right? And this is going to forever mark your path. This connection will forever be significant. However it plays out, maybe it's not romance, but whatever it is a pivotal point in your life and your own identity, right? Are you going to embrace the connection? Can you develop deep trust? Will you allow this bond to last? Yes, we've had to sever a lot of other connections, but will you accept the fact that this one will not be severed, right? Are you going to be vulnerable? Because growth requires vulnerability. You have to let your environment engage with you so that you can receive the proper elements to grow. Are you going to be open enough to receive what you need in this connection to grow? Will you be honest, right? Will you use the intimacy shared between the two of you, which is not sex when I'm talking about intimacy? Are you going to let that intimacy that this partner has for you be a part of your healing, right? Now, think about all the connections where we had to weaken ourselves just to exist in it. We couldn't use our full strength. We couldn't go big, right? This is not that situation. You have to show up strong, clear, confident, right? And so you're showing up in a way that you couldn't, maybe you had to hide aspects of yourself because the situation or the relationship was too small. You were too big for it, right? And now you're tired of playing small. And so self-love is really the key that kind of brings the divine connections and unions toward us. Because when you love yourself a certain way, you're not going to stand for certain things, right? And so when you demonstrate that, you're almost picking up a key to a new door. And when you open the new door, this connection, these people, these relationships and friendships, these are divine, right? Your heart chakra, you are getting to a place of health. Now, whatever your physical health is, but I'm talking about there is a spiritual health that you have access to. The compassion that you are going to be able to display, it is safe. You know, I talked about before, sometimes not everybody can handle love. I talked about me being a gallon, but I love me some shot glasses. Like, you know, my partner is a shot glass. They'll never be able to carry the gallon that I'm able to give them. But yet I keep choosing them. I'm collecting them. Every state I'm in, I'm buying a shot glass. Like, not, you know what I'm getting. But right, I'm in love with them. I think they're awesome. They're fun, but like they're damaging. And why choose something small if you recognize you're big? Why is it that you think you were only worth that shot glass in terms of love and companionship, right? And so this is a period of renewal where you realize you're abundant and you're only going to accept abundance. That is it. You are love. You don't look for it. You don't search it. It is what you are. It is in you. You are love. When you recognize that and your heart has space, listen, your heart is going to be screaming into the universe to attract people, places, things, ideas, and opportunities that match that frequency that you are emitting. The sound, you can't control the sound that is coming out of your vessel. It is a beautiful sound, and not everybody can hear it. And those that can are going to come. They are going to respond. They're going to appear in your life. Are you ready? Can you embrace them? Can you make space for them? So forgive the frog for being a frog, right? That frog, we needed those frogs. And listen, family, whatever, we needed those frogs, whoever they were, right? Because they forced us to step into our own strength, to be logical, right? To protect ourselves. We needed them. And so here comes the prince, here comes the princess. And are you ready? Right? Are you ready? So I think this is beautiful, especially if you match it with the energy of the solstice. Like finally, you can see yourself. And because you can see yourself, people are going to see you and recognize you, and there's a level of expansion that is happening in your life. And as you expand, you can reach people, places, and things that at one point you couldn't access because you were doing something small or you were playing small. Now you're about to play big. And so what are you going to pull into your life now that this is the energy and the space that you are in? That's for you to decide. That's for us to know, right? So thank you so much. I love you, and I will see you in the next reading.